Alright folks, we're back, and in actuality it's been a week and a half since we last filmed, and I apologize for that. Got a little down with the flu, had to recover, and also I got kind of swamped with orders to actually get some coolers out, so I had to stop filming and actually get down to actually working on some. This is the last one that I'll be doing before Christmas. This will finish up the orders that I've taken. This will be actually number 49 that I've done since November. So obviously a lot of demand for these types of things. So this is the cooler that I kept showing in the previous video, wanting to get to this point. Unfortunately, I never got to show you the shell part of it. And hopefully in a later video I'll get to do that. But couple of things that I wanted to show you now, and hopefully I'll have time with this, and I've got to have it finished in a couple of days. But and as I said before, you could do these in one day, but when you're working full time and you only have night time to actually work on them, it kind of does take a little bit longer. Now, if I wanted to stay up all night, I could finish this cooler, and probably will get everything done on this one that I need to do tonight. It may cut into the filming just a little bit, but I'm going to show you just some of the basics. And so let's get started with that. This cooler looks, except for this top part, which I'm going to explain here in just a minute. This is what we kept showing in the last video of this part here. Nothing else has changed other than I have completed the legs and I have added wheels. And all I've done, turn around to this side here, is that I have taken boards of this width, which are 2.5 inches, see here on the back side, and I have nailed them on the edges. Because here, remember what we're looking for? We're looking for that when you're looking at the front, that's all you want to see. You don't want to see that edge over here. Now you're going to see it over here, obviously, and there's nothing you can do about that. So, but as you're looking at the front of this cooler, you're not going to see that. So I've nailed boards in, and basically I don't measure. I take the actual board, set it in place, and draw my line and cut it to that length so it fits exactly for what I need to fit into that shape. And all I've done, spin it back around a little bit here, apologize for that. All I've done is here again, nails and glue all the way down, and then we have attached casters to the bottom so the cooler is easily movable. And here again, that's just something extra that I do, something that I think the customers like. So if you don't want to do that, that's fine. It does make it a little bit easier to transport into certain areas and that sort of thing. Whoops, you gotta watch that. And so, a couple things let me point out here that I apologize for bouncing it all around. I've already added I do this on the front and on the sides. I don't do it on the back, but I've added a couple pieces of trim here and trim down at the bottom, just to give it a more solid look overall. Okay, here again, we're talking free wood, folks. So I mean, I can fill this whole thing up with wood, and it's not going to cost me another penny. So let's keep that in mind. You may have noticed, let's look up here. There we go. On occasion, you're going to have nails where you miss the mark and stuff like that. Very simple. We'll take a pair of pliers, pull that right out. You won't ever see that. Won't do any damage whatsoever. So, and that, that's one of the final steps before we get to the sanding. We'll go through and inspect to see if we've got nails that are sticking out somewhere that we need to take care of. So, also, what I've already done is I have already added the shelf piece to this particular cooler. Now, on this particular cooler, because I'm making it for a friend, it's a little bit wider than I would normally do. This one here is about 5 1/4, and normally I would do about a 4 1/2 or so width. But you know, the sky is the limit as to what you want to do. But I just wanted to give them a nice little surface around the outside of the cooler to work with. All right. Now, if you'll notice, and if you noticed before, or remember from before, or refer back to the video, the handles like this were still on the cooler. Now, what I've done simply is taken my reciprocating saw, and I've just cut them loose from the side, on both sides. That's all I've done, is just cut the handle off. Now, if I could find a use for this, or anybody's got any ideas, let me know, because I could be a rich man. We'll probably have 1,000 of these laying around the backyard. So, we're going to get rid of that. One other thing that I've already done also, now, don't be shocked when I open this cooler up, because it's nasty on the inside, because I haven't cleaned it yet. Get it open. One of the things that I've also already done is cut the cooler top away. And what I mean by that is I've cut the little notches off that protrude out, that actually in reality would hold this cooler top in place. And all I do is use a mini hacksaw blade. I take it, slide it through the groove here and up, and then I just saw it. Takes about 20 seconds to cut that off. Then I cut the next one off here. And then the top is free. The top has got to be free in order for you to attach your cover. Now, you'll notice that, now this is what originally comes with a cooler, that this is still attached. I'm going to take this screw out, but we're going to use this piece. When I first started, I was running all the problems of the cooler lids falling all the way back, or not standing up the way that they should, you know, and I was using chains and different things like that, and then it finally hit me, why not just use the piece that's given to me with the cooler? So that's what I did. And basically what all that will happen is I'll take this screw loose, and there'll be a hole there, not going to affect one thing at all, and I'm going to take this screw and I'll move it probably down to somewhere around in here and just screw it back in. That's it. And then the top will stay stationary just like that, so that when you open it up, the top stays stationary just like that. Okay. So here again, we're using all parts of the cooler that we can that come with it. So what we're going to do next is I need to do the plumbing, and shouldn't put the top back on. And here again, the cooler's dirty on the inside, but don't worry about that. We're going to clean that up. This will be spotless when we're through. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to drill a hole through a cooler, and then we're going to start running our plumbing through the bottom, and I'm going to show you that process. So let me get my drill and stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and drill the hole. Then I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'll be back in just a minute. All right, I'm back, and I apologize if the music in the background is a little loud. But you gotta have music to do some, do proper woodworking. All right, so what we have here is a sinkhole cover. You buy these at Lowe's. They come in basically two forms, one with a white and one with a chrome looking finish. The ones with the chrome are a little bit more expensive, so if I can get the white ones, that's what I want. And then we have basically the 4 drill bits that we're going to use to run our entire plumbing. All right, the first one that we're going to do is a inch spade bit, and that's what we're going to use to drill the hole into the cooler. All right, so hold on, let me hook up my drill. All right, what I have here is a Porter cable drill. It's a lithium battery, This is truly a magnificent piece of equipment. It has it's a variable speed, but it has basically a low drive and a high drive, so that if you really need to get in just with some torque, you can put it on one, but if you want to get into some speed, you could switch it to that. So I really like this drill. Costs about 137 bucks. Comes with 2 batteries. Well worth the money. These lithium batteries, which probably most of you are using now, charge in less than 5 to 6 minutes. So you know, when this drill runs out, I pop this one in the charger, take the one that's out in, and I'm good to go for another 40-35 minutes, whatever the case may be. The one thing that did surprise me about the lithium batteries is as opposed to the old oxide batteries and stuff, you could tell when the drill was about to run out because it gets slower and slower. Well, with these babies, when this battery runs out, it just stops. And that could be in mid-drill or screw, whatever the case may be. It just stops, and the battery's dead, and you're not going to go any further. But this is a fantastic piece of equipment. Certainly comes in handy around the house, but we're going to use it to drill our hole. So what we're going to do is I'm going to and this is just line of sight, line it up best I can in the center. Hope you can see that. All you can see is the drill, but I want it to be a straight hole. So excuse me, I'm going to be off a little bit with the camera. I want to make sure this is right. Alright, so this is where I'm going to drill my hole. Now, one of the things that you may see, not perfectly round. Obviously, I want it to be if at all possible, but that is not an issue. We just wasn't bearing down as hard trying to hold the camera and stuff. But that's not going to make any difference whatsoever. What I do want to do is clean this area up around the hole. Like I said, I'm going to clean up the whole cooler, so it's going to look brand new. And I don't even have to really worry about the edges and stuff. But I use an inch bit on that. This here is a 1/2 inch. And what happens, and I'm going to do this one-handed, is this part here unscrews. Just to show you a little bit. There you go. Alright. So that unscrews, and there's actually a gasket. There you go. You can see the gasket right there. So hold on one second. Alright, so what I have my sinkhole cover, which is solid. You look through this, it's solid right now. I have my gasket, and I'm going to put this down in the hole. And then I'm going to take the nut that comes with it, and I'm going to go underneath the cooler, and I'm going to tighten that down. So hold on one second. Alright, so we've got our sink cover in place here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take another spade bit. You can get this inch one out. And just by learning from experience, it didn't take but one time. Remember what I said, that this thing is 1/2 inch in diameter as far as the pipe goes. So we do not want to use a 1/2 inch bit. What we're using is a 3/8 inch bit. Okay, if you use a 1/2 inch bit, when you drill through this, then this cover is going to pop off. And so obviously we don't want that. So what we have is a 3/8 inch bit. Here again, we want to get it in the center. Excuse me, we want to get it lined up, and we're going to drill all the way through it. Bingo. So now we have a drain Okay, gasket sealed. Right now this is tightened up as as far as I can get it, and that's important because that's going to play into the measurements that I take on my pipes that we're going to get into in just a minute. So hold on, let me get the cooler turned on its side, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, one thing that I wanted to show you, and you notice I have not turned the cooler on the side as of yet, is I need to drill a hole in this piece here for the actual drain itself. And you'll notice that I have not put the molding on this part here. So the molding is here, but I haven't put the molding on here because I need to drill through this piece first before I attach my molding out here, because that depending on where I put the drain is going to determine how wide this piece needs to be. So it may not be the same width as this piece up here, okay, which makes no difference whatsoever. But I got to make sure that I get this centered up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look underneath. And actually, I don't know if you were going to be able to see it. There you can. You can see it. You can see the drain sticking out from underneath. So I'm going to take a look at that, see where it's coming down, and get it as close to the center of that as possible. And what I'm going to use is, here again, no spade bit, but this one is going to be 1.5 inches, and I'll explain that to you in just a minute. So give me a second to line this up. Obviously, I cannot drill and hold the camera the same on this one here. This is very important. So let me drill this one and get it set, and then I'll come back and explain to you what I've done. All right. But one other thing too, and here again, this is strictly personal preference. This is by no means, but I always put my drains on the right side when you're looking at the front of the cooler. Why? Because that's the way I saw them on the first cooler I ever saw. So my drains always go on this side over here, but that you can run it out the back if you wanted to. You know, it makes no difference whatsoever. Here again, left, right, front, that doesn't matter. But just for uniformity or whatever, all of mine are on the right hand side. So let me get this hole drilled here, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, that didn't take long at all. That's the importance of having sharp drill bits. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see or not, but yeah, there you can. Alright, if you'll look through there, you'll see the drain plug coming down. That's almost lined up perfectly there. If you're off just a little bit or so, it's not going to make any difference. You can still make your pipe fit. But the reason that I use a 1.5 inch bit on this part is what's going to happen. I'm now going to go out and cut a piece of molding that's going to at least cover that part of it. So it's going to have to be at least that wide. Okay. Here again, this could have easily been a thin board like this one, and it wouldn't make any difference. But I need to make sure that molding covers that part here. So I generally try to have a fat piece on the bottom if I can, simply because I'm going to have another piece coming up, and instead of just basically having two pieces the same size, now I'm going to have one that's going to stand out a little bit, because it's going to be this wide or close to it, maybe not be exact, and then it's going to give a little bit of depth there. Alright, and then I'll explain about the size of the hole here in just a minute. So let me find a piece or go cut a piece that we can put in there, and I'll show you what we're going to do next.